It's been a hard day's night, and I've been working like a dog. It's been a hard day's night, I should be sleeping like a log.
You're listening to Where You Live with Gene Sullivan.
Welcome back to Where You Live. I'm Gene Sullivan, broadcasting from the True North Painting Studios. The show's brought to you by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. As an American family agent, Kim believes that there is so much more to insurance than the policy itself. It is about providing you with dependable protection and services. Kim believes that trust and credibility can't be demanded. It can only be earned by what you say and what you do. Give her a call at 651-482-1598 and tell her Gene sent you. It's time now to hear from the Minnesota Multi-Housing Association. The MHA Minute is brought to you by Start to Finish Maintenance Contractors. Start to Finish provides 24-hour service for all your home and business maintenance needs. Call Start to Finish at 952-259-1219 for your home, for your business, for your peace of mind.
When you rent out your home, you automatically become a small business owner and are subject to all kinds of rules and regulations. Fair housing laws, rental licensing, CRPs, lead paint, radon, carbon dioxide, just to name a few. As someone who provides rental housing, you'll have to learn more about your community, your city council, and your law enforcement agencies than you ever imagined. But if you properly manage your business, you'll also become an important and positive partner in the community. The Minnesota Multi-Housing Association is the most comprehensive resource you'll find for everything you need to help you successfully manage your rental business. Visit mmha.com. That's two M's, mmha.com. Look around the website, download the free guide to successful property management, download the free brochure about the eviction process, and learn about the many ways you can turn your small business into a good business.
We're finishing the show today giving an update on House File 1941, a mandatory mediation process that is going to be, that if passed, would be required by any foreclosing entity, meaning homeowner associations as well. This could have dire consequences to HOAs. It could put them in a world of hurt and cause many more people, good paying folks who are just being able to scrape and get by from month to month, from paycheck to paycheck, and put them under as well, because this is going to cause a greater burden on those people in an HOA, and I'm going to be explaining why that is. My concerns with the bill, number one, I mentioned that the mediator is acting more like an arbitrator, because they're going to be able to make a judgment on what's considered this good faith test. Okay. Number two, about the mediator, we're told that the mediator is going to be a knowledgeable person. It was written in the description of House File 1941. The mediator may be knowledgeable perhaps in the mediation process, but not necessarily in HOA law or in understanding it. And I think that's important, especially because of the consequences that could take place if the HOA didn't do it correctly now, and now they have to wait one entire year before being able to even move forward with trying to foreclose on this person again. It just doesn't seem to make sense. To me, why would you have it a year? Why this notice that if it's not done right, it's going to be another year before you can start over again? It seems kind of punitive to me. And it certainly seems to be weighed in the side of the fact that all corporations, that because they're asking for people to own up to their responsibility like they contractually agreed to, and they aren't, that they can't move forward with the contract which says we're going to foreclose. In an HOA, it is so important. Everybody in that HOA is paying their fair share of what it takes to maintain that property, because the HOA is a nonprofit organization. The HOA cannot charge more than what is needed to operate the property. So now, based on that, you have some people that aren't paying their fair share. Now, all of a sudden, the association is under. And what do you do if you have 5% of the people not paying? And do you turn to your contractors and say, well, I'd like you to shovel 95%? Why don't you, insurance company, just insure 95% of the property? And what 5% don't you insure? Or maybe you say to the insurance company, you know what? I know we're supposed to pay you this amount, but we'll give you 95%. We'll pay you the rest coming up a little bit later. It's not going to work that way. And then that puts a burden on the other homeowners who are good, paying, solid citizens. And what are they going to do now? They're going to have to ante up even more in order to get the basic services that they all agreed and were promised by joining together in this HOA. Let's take a look at this test. I've got concerns about this good faith. It is very one-sided in this whole bill. As you take a look at it, it's only the foreclosing entity, not the homeowner, that has a test of what's considered good faith. There is no good faith test for the homeowner at all. What are the things that the person who is the foreclosing entity has to do? Well, it says if they fail to attend or participate in the mediation session without good cause. Okay, well, you'd think most people would show up to the meeting, but if something comes up and last minute, is the mediator, who has the ability to make a judgment now, going to consider that a good cause for not showing up? Who knows? How about failure to provide information required under this section of 584.03? So if one piece of paper is missed, one little item was forgotten to be picked up on the way into the mediation, now is that going to throw the baby out with the bathwater? Here's one that really bothers me. We mentioned this last week. Fails to provide a reasonable explanation for not agreeing to loss mitigation. In other words, you fail to provide the mediator with what he or she will consider a reasonable explanation for why you don't want to try and work out a payment plan. How about the fact that the association can't afford to do that because it'll put a burden financially on other people and cause them to go under? Who knows what the mediator is going to say? It becomes very subjective at that point. And so it is very concerning. A couple things being down at the state legislature this last week. And here's my other concerns with the bill. The bill now has gone out of 2 committees, okay? And here's what's happening. Instead of a bill, when it is introduced in a committee, the idea is that the people there are supposed to decide whether it's a good bill. If it is, they move it on. If it's not, then they can say to them, "I'll work on it and come back." Or they can say it's a lousy bill and say no. But what has happened the last 2 times, each committee, they won't vote as to whether or not it's a good bill and whether they promote it. All they say is, we're just going to vote to send it on to the next committee to work out the issues. What do we have? We have kicking the can down the road. Aren't we tired enough of our politicians that are doing that and say, oh, it'll work out in the end? We don't know what the bill says. We don't know exactly everything that it's going to do. We know there's some problems, but we're just going to push it on and let someone else do it. What happens because of that? Well, then you end up getting a legislator who can say that they didn't vote for a lousy bill that they would have otherwise had to hold their nose and vote for. And it just, to me, just doesn't seem fair. They're not taking their responsibility seriously as legislators. There are some things that we need and can do. If you're interested in this bill, please go to the CAI Minnesota website at www.cai-mn.com. You can click on legislators, and then from there it will show you more about this bill. You will have, and what you can do, more importantly, and how to contact your legislators and tell them what you think about this bill. It's needed, folks. We can't let this one go unanswered. Have a great rest of your weekend. We'll see you here next week on Where You Live.